I should have been planning his funeral. Instead, I was watching him drink a piña colada on live television. Let me back up. My name is Sophie. And 3 months ago, my husband Ryan was kidnapped. Or at least, that's what I thought. That's what the masked men on the phone told me. That's what his screams in the background confirmed. That's what cost me $2 million and every ounce of sanity I had left. The police told me not to pay. They said kidnappers rarely keep their word. But you don't understand. You can't understand what it's like to hear the person you love begging for their life, promising they'll be a better husband if you just save them this one time. So I paid. I sold my parents' house, the one they left me when they died. I emptied every savings account, cashed out my retirement, borrowed from friends who could barely afford it. I put $2 million in a duffel bag and left it in an abandoned parking garage at 3 a.m., just like they instructed. Ryan never came home. The police assumed the worst. Sometimes these things go wrong, they said. The kidnappers panic. They eliminate the evidence. They found his car burned out near the docks. They found blood, his blood. The case went cold within weeks. I stopped eating. I stopped sleeping. I became a ghost in my own life, wandering through our apartment, touching his clothes, smelling his cologne, trying to remember what his laugh sounded like. Tonight, I'm sitting on our couch, wrapped in his old college sweatshirt, surrounded by candles and photos of him. The news is on, but I'm not really watching. It's just noise to fill the silence. A reporter is covering a tropical storm approaching the Bahamas. Tourism officials are being interviewed on a pristine beach, assuring everyone that the resorts are safe. Then I see him. At first, it's just a flash in the background. A man in blue swim trunks walking past the camera, laughing, holding a bright red cocktail. A woman in a bikini kisses his cheek. He's tan, relaxed, alive. My heart stops. I scramble for the remote, rewinding the live broadcast on my DVR. I pause it, zoom in. The image is grainy, but there's something about the way he moves, the shape of his shoulders, that tattoo on his back, the tribal design that covers where my name used to be inked. It can't be. I zoom in closer on his face. He's wearing sunglasses, but that jawline, that smirk, that's my husband. That's Ryan. I look at the empty funeral urn on our mantle, the one I've been too paralyzed to fill with ashes because there was no body to cremate. My hands are shaking so violently I drop the remote. It clatters on the hardwood floor. Ryan is alive. Ryan is in the Bahamas. Ryan is drinking cocktails on a beach while I've been mourning him for 3 months. And then the anger hits me like a freight train. Not the sad, defeated kind of anger. The kind that burns, the kind that makes you dangerous. I grab my laptop and start searching. Within an hour, I've identified the resort from the background of the news footage. Within 2 hours, I've found flights. Within 3 hours, I've withdrawn what's left in my checking account. You see, there's one thing Ryan didn't know when he planned his little disappearing act. When someone is declared dead, their spouse gets the life insurance payout. $500,000. Money that was supposed to help me rebuild my life. Money that's about to help me destroy his... But before I tell you about my revenge, you need to understand the full scope of what Ryan did to me. You need to understand why what I'm about to do is justified. You need to hear about the 3 months of hell he put me through while he was sipping mojitos on a beach. It started on a Tuesday, March 15th. I remember because it was the Ides of March, and I joked with Ryan that morning about betrayal and Caesar. He laughed and kissed my forehead and said, "I could never betray you, Soph. You're my whole world." He left the apartment around noon, said he was going to grab milk and some groceries. We were out of coffee creamer, and Ryan couldn't function without his morning coffee. It was such a mundane, ordinary moment. He was wearing his favorite gray hoodie and jeans. He grabbed the keys to his Honda and told me he'd be back in 20 minutes. 6 hours later, I started to worry. His phone went straight to voicemail. I called his friends. Nobody had seen him. I drove to the grocery store, the coffee shop, everywhere I could think of. His car wasn't anywhere. By midnight, I filed a missing persons report. The police were sympathetic, but not particularly concerned. Adult men disappear for a day or two all the time, they said. Usually they come back with a hangover and an apology. But I knew Ryan. He wouldn't do that. We'd been married for 4 years, together for 7. He wasn't perfect, But he wasn't cruel, or so I thought. The call came at 2:47 in the morning. I know because I'd been staring at my phone for hours, willing it to ring. When it finally did, I answered before the first ring finished. Hello? Ryan? The voice that answered was distorted, run through some kind of electronic filter. It sounded like a demon. Sophie Miller? My blood turned to ice. Yes. Who is this? Where's my husband? We have him. If you want to see him alive again, you'll do exactly what we say. I couldn't breathe. The room started spinning. Please, please don't hurt him. I'll do anything. $2 million. Cash. You have 72 hours. I don't have that kind of money. Please, I'm a graphic designer. We're not rich. That's when I heard Ryan's voice in the background, screaming, Sophie, Sophie, baby, please, they're going to kill me. Do whatever they say, please. His voice cracked with terror, breaking into sobs. I love you, Sophie. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for everything. The line went dead. I collapsed on the kitchen floor and vomited. Then I called the police. Detective Martinez came to my apartment within an hour. He was a tired-looking man in his 50s with kind eyes and a patient demeanor. He listened to my story, recorded my phone, set up a trace for the next call. Mrs. Miller, he said gently. I need to be honest with you. In kidnapping cases, especially ones demanding this much money, the statistics aren't good. Even if you pay, there's no guarantee they'll release him. So what am I supposed to do? Just let them kill him? No, but you should prepare yourself for all possibilities. These people are professionals. They know what they're doing. The kidnappers called again 12 hours later with instructions. The money had to be in unmarked bills, 20s and 50s. I had 72 hours to gather it. They'd call with the drop location. 72 hours to find $2 million. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I called every bank, every loan office, every person I'd ever known. My credit was good, but not $2 million in 3 days good. I had about $50,000 in savings. Ryan had another $30,000 in his account. Our apartment was rented. We had no significant assets except my parents' house. The house where I grew up. The house where my mother taught me to bake in the kitchen. The house where my father and I built a treehouse in the backyard. The house they'd left me when they died in a car accident 5 years ago. I'd kept it as a rental property. Couldn't bear to sell it. Told myself I'd retire there someday. I put it on the market for a quick sale. A developer bought it within 48 hours for $800,000, well below market value. I didn't care. I liquidated my retirement account, took the tax penalty. I borrowed $300,000 from Ryan's brother, who took out a second mortgage. I borrowed $100,000 from my best friend Jessica, who drained her own savings. I got a $200,000 cash advance on every credit card I could open. By hour $70, I had $2 million in cash sitting in duffel bags in my living room. Detective Martinez sat across from me, his expression grim. Sophie, I'm begging you to reconsider. Let us handle this. We can set up a sting. They'll kill him if they see police. I can't risk it. They might kill him anyway. But there's a chance they won't, and I have to take that chance. The final call came at hour 71. The voice was the same, cold and mechanical. Parking garage. Corner of 5th and Hamilton. Level 3. Tonight at midnight, come alone. No police? We're watching. If we see anything suspicious, your husband dies screaming. Detective Martinez wanted to follow me, wanted to set up surveillance. I refused. I couldn't risk Ryan's life on a police operation. So at 11:30 p.m., I loaded $2 million into my car and drove to that garage alone. The place was abandoned, scheduled for demolition. Graffiti covered the walls. Broken glass crunched under my tires as I drove up to level 3. The lighting was terrible, just a few flickering fluorescent tubes still working, shadows everywhere. I parked in the center of the level, got out with the duffel bags. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely grip them. Hello? My voice echoed through the concrete space. I have the money. Please, just let me see him. Let me know he's okay. Silence. I waited for 10 minutes. 15. 20. Nothing. Just the sound of my own breathing and the distant hum of the city. Then my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Leave the bags. Walk away. Don't look back. He'll be released within 6 hours. No. I need proof he's alive. I need to see him. Another text. Do you want him to die? Leave now. Every instinct screamed that this was wrong, but what choice did I have? I set the bags down in the center of the garage and walked back to my car. I drove down the ramp, parked across the street, and waited. 40 minutes later, a black van with tinted windows pulled into the garage. 3 minutes after that, it left. The bags were gone. I waited for 6 hours, then 12, then 24. Ryan never came home. I called Detective Martinez in hysterics. He sent officers to the garage. They found nothing. No fingerprints, no DNA, no surveillance footage that worked. The kidnappers were ghosts. 3 days later, they found Ryan's car. It had been abandoned near the shipping docks, then set on fire. When firefighters extinguished it, they found blood in the trunk. Type O positive. Ryan's blood type. A lot of it. Detective Martinez sat me down in that same kitchen where I'd first gotten the call. Sophie, I'm so sorry. Based on the amount of blood and the evidence at the scene, it's unlikely your husband survived. These people, they took your money and killed him anyway. It happens. I'm sorry. I couldn't process it. My brain shut down. Ryan was gone. $2 million was gone. My parents' house was gone. Everything was gone. The next weeks were a blur. Ryan's brother helped me plan a memorial service, though we had no body to bury. 100 people came. They said beautiful things about Ryan. What a good man he was. What a devoted husband. How much he loved me. How tragic this all was. I stood there in a black dress I'd bought at a thrift store because I'd spent every cent I had trying to save him. I listened to people tell me how sorry they were. I accepted casseroles and condolence cards. I smiled and nodded and thanked them for coming. And inside, I was dying. I stopped going to work. I stopped answering calls. Jessica tried to help, but what could she say? I'd lost her money too. Ryan's brother stopped returning my texts after I couldn't make a payment on the loan. Everyone disappeared, and I didn't blame them. I was a black hole of grief and debt and despair. The insurance company processed Ryan's life insurance claim, $500,000. Blood money. I took it and paid back what I could to the people who'd helped me. It barely made a dent. For 3 months, I existed in a fog. I'd wake up and forget for just a moment that he was gone. Then reality would crash back down and I'd spend the day in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering why I should bother breathing. Until tonight. Until I saw him on that television screen, alive and laughing and drinking cocktails with some woman who wasn't me. Now I understand. The kidnapping was fake. Ryan orchestrated the whole thing. He made me believe he was being tortured. He made me liquidate my entire life. He took $2 million and left me with nothing but debt and grief. And the worst part? The absolute worst part. When I heard his voice on that first call, begging for his life, telling me he loved me, apologizing for everything, he was acting. It was all a performance. He put me through hell for money. So now, sitting on this couch with a laptop and a plane ticket, I'm not sad anymore. I'm not grieving. I'm something much more dangerous. I'm a woman with nothing left to lose and a very specific target for all this rage. Ryan wanted to disappear. Fine. But he made one critical mistake. He let me see him. And now, I'm coming. Not to bring him home, not to forgive him. I'm coming to make sure he understands what it feels like to lose everything. I'm coming to make him feel every ounce of fear and betrayal he made me feel. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. But mine is going to be hot, public, and absolutely devastating. Ryan, baby, I hope you enjoyed those 3 months of paradise. Because your hell is about to begin. The flight to Nassau leaves in 18 hours. I spend those hours transforming myself from grieving widow into something else entirely. Something focused. Something dangerous. First, I cut my hair. Ryan always loved my long blonde hair, said it reminded him of sunshine. I go to a 24-hour salon and tell them to cut it short, dye it dark brown. The stylist asks if I'm sure, Says it's a big change. I tell her I'm very sure. When I look in the mirror afterwards, I barely recognize myself. Good. That's exactly what I need. Next, I go shopping. Not for designer clothes or anything that would make me stand out. I buy simple sundresses, oversized sunglasses, a wide-brimmed hat, basic sandals, tourist camouflage. I need to blend in, to watch without being watched. I create a new email address and book everything under my mother's maiden name, Sophie Carson. I pay cash for everything I can. I'm not hiding from the law. I'm hiding from Ryan. On the plane, I can't sleep. I keep replaying every moment of our relationship, looking for clues I missed. Was he always planning this? Did he marry me knowing he'd eventually rob me blind, or was it opportunistic, something that occurred to him later? I think about our wedding day. How he cried when I walked down the aisle. Was that real? Or was he already calculating how much he could take from me? I think about the night my parents died. How he held me while I sobbed, whispered that he'd take care of me forever, that I'd never be alone. Was he looking at their house even then? Seeing dollar signs? The thing that makes me angriest is that I can't trust any of it now. Every memory is poisoned. Every "I love you" might have been a lie. 7 years of my life, and I don't know what was real. The plane lands in Nassau at 2 in the afternoon. The heat hits me like a wall when I step outside. It's beautiful here. The kind of postcard-perfect paradise that should make you feel alive. Instead, I feel like a ghost walking through someone else's vacation. I take a taxi to a modest hotel about 2 miles from the resort where I spotted Ryan. Not the cheapest place, but not expensive enough to attract attention. I check in, drop my bags, and immediately head out. The resort is called Paradise Cove. How original. It's one of those all-inclusive luxury places that cost $1,000 a night. Infinity pools, private beaches, restaurants with more forks than any human should need. Exactly the kind of place Ryan always dreamed about but could never afford on his sales manager salary. Well, now he can afford it. With my money, I can't just walk into the resort without being a guest, so I do reconnaissance from the outside. There's a beach bar that's technically on resort property but accessible from the public beach. I buy an overpriced margarita. I don't drink and sit at a table with a clear view of the pool area. And I wait. 2 hours pass. I'm starting to wonder if I imagined the whole thing, if grief made me hallucinate Ryan on that television screen. But then I see her first. She's impossible to miss. Tall, probably 5'10", with the kind of body that suggests a personal trainer and a surgeon, long dark hair in beach waves, a white bikini that costs more than my plane ticket, oversized Chanel sunglasses. She's laughing into her phone, taking selfies by the pool. Then Ryan walks up behind her and wraps his arms around her waist. My heart stops. Even from this distance, even with sunglasses covering half his face, I know it's him. Same height, same build, same walk. He kisses her neck and she giggles, turning to kiss him properly. I watch my husband kiss another woman. I watch him run his hands down her back. I watch him whisper something in her ear that makes her laugh and playfully slap his chest. For a moment, I can't breathe. It's one thing to know intellectually that he betrayed me. It's another to watch it happen in real time. But I don't cry. I'm past crying. Instead, I take out my phone and start recording. Evidence. I need evidence of everything. They spend the afternoon at the pool. Ryan orders bottle service, champagne that probably costs $500. They take a dozen selfies together. At one point, Ryan pulls out a credit card to pay for something, and even from here I can see it's platinum, probably opened in a fake name with my stolen money. Around 6 p.m., they head back toward the resort buildings. I wait 15 minutes, then follow at a distance. I watch them enter one of the beachfront villas, Villa 4. I memorize the number. That night, I sit in my modest hotel room and do research. I create fake social media accounts and start searching. Within an hour, I find her, Isabella Corso, goes by Bella, 25 years old, Instagram model with 300,000 followers, posts inspirational quotes about manifesting abundance and living your best life. Her recent photos show her here, at this resort, with captions like, "Paradise found," and living the dream with my king. Her king, my husband. I scroll back through her timeline. The posts start about 3 months ago, right when Ryan disappeared. Before that, she was posting from Miami, complaining about being broke, doing sponsored posts for teeth whitening products and diet teas. So Ryan didn't just steal from me. He upgraded to a newer model with my money. I create a burner phone number and start calling hotels, asking for Ryan Miller's room. Most say they have no guest by that name. But the 4th hotel I try, a woman says, "One moment, I'll connect you to Villa 4 at Paradise Cove." I hang up before it rings. But now I know. He's using his real name. He's not even hiding. Why would he? I'm supposed to think he's dead. The next morning, I return to the beach bar. I watch Villa 4. Ryan and Bella emerge around 11, hungover and laughing. They head to the resort restaurant for brunch. I time it, wait until they're seated and occupied. Then I walk toward their villa. My heart is pounding. If I get caught, this whole plan falls apart, but I need more information. I need to understand the full scope of what he did. The villas have patios that face the beach. Their sliding door is cracked open, probably for the breeze. I look around. Nobody's watching. I slip into the small space between their villa and the next, press myself against the wall, and listen. Nothing at first. Then I hear Ryan's voice from inside. On the phone. "Yeah, I know it's risky, but what are they going to do? She thinks I'm dead, man. She had a whole funeral for me. Even if someone saw me, even if somehow word got back to her, I'm in the Bahamas. No extradition for fraud if I stay here long enough to establish residency." Silence as the other person talks. No, Bella doesn't know the whole story. She thinks I won at gambling, a big poker tournament in Vegas that I didn't want the IRS to know about. She's not the sharpest tool in the shed, if you know what I mean. Pretty, but dumb, perfect. My hands clench into fists. He's not just a thief, he's smug about it. Ryan continues. The best part? Sophie actually got the life insurance payout. $500,000. I almost feel bad. Almost. He laughs. I mean, she's probably living in a studio apartment somewhere, eating ramen, working 2 jobs to pay off the debt. But hey, that's life, right? She'll get over it. Rebuild. She's resilient like that. Resilient. He thinks I'm resilient. He destroyed my life and thinks I'll just bounce back. Look, I gotta go. Bella wants to go jet skiing. Yeah, I know. Expensive. But what's the point of having money if you don't spend it? All right, talk soon. I hear him walk toward the patio. I duck behind a palm tree just as he steps outside, stretching. He's tan, relaxed, happy. He looks better than he ever did when he was with me. That night, I make a decision. I'm not going to confront him yet. That would be too easy, too quick. I want him to feel fear first. I want him to experience a fraction of the paranoia and terror he put me through. So I start my campaign. First, I go to a print shop in town and make copies of the missing person posters I created when Ryan first disappeared. His face, his information, the words "missing," "please help," in bold letters. I laminate a few dozen of them. That night, around 3 a.m. when the resort is quiet, I slip one under the door of Villa 4. Just that. No note, no explanation. Just Ryan's face staring up at him from a poster declaring him missing. I'm back in position at the beach bar by 11 the next morning. Around noon, Ryan emerges from the villa. He's not laughing anymore. He's pale, looking around nervously. Bella follows him, asking what's wrong. He shakes his head, says something I can't hear. They don't go to the pool that day. They stay in the villa. The next night, I escalate. I've been going through the resort's trash, looking for receipts, documents, anything useful. I find a bank statement carelessly tossed away. It shows an account at Caribbean International Bank with over $1.8 million in it, under the name Ryan Matthews. Not Miller, Matthews. I take photos of everything. Then I report the account to the bank's fraud department anonymously, with all the evidence of Ryan's fake kidnapping. I explain that this money was obtained through fraud and extortion. I provide Detective Martinez's contact information back in the States. Banks don't like money laundering. They especially don't like being implicated in fraud. Within 24 hours, the account is frozen pending investigation. I know this because I watch Ryan try to use his credit card at dinner the next night. It's declined. He tries another. Also declined. Bella looks embarrassed as other diners notice. Ryan's face turns red, then white. He throws cash on the table and they leave quickly. I follow them back to Villa 4. I can hear them arguing. "What do you mean the accounts are frozen?" Bella shouts. "I don't know. There must be some mistake. I'll call the bank in the morning." "You said we had millions. You said we could live like this forever." "We do. We can. This is just a temporary thing, probably some anti-fraud system being overly cautious because of the large deposits." "Well, fix it. I didn't leave Miami to end up broke again." Their paradise is cracking. Good. Over the next week, I become Ryan's personal ghost. I leave more posters in random places where only he'll find them, tucked into his beach towel at the pool, slipped into the menu at the restaurant, taped to his rental car windshield. Each one a reminder that someone knows. Someone is watching. I also start posting on local Facebook groups, asking if anyone has seen this man, saying I'm trying to find my missing husband who was last seen in the area. I don't use my real name, but I provide enough details to create chatter. Ryan becomes paranoid. I watch him constantly looking over his shoulder. He stops posting on social media. He argues with Bella constantly about money. She wants to leave, go somewhere else. He says they can't, that they need to wait until his accounts are unfrozen. But here's the thing about frozen accounts in fraud investigations. They don't just unfreeze. Especially when the fraud victim is very much alive and very motivated to see justice done. I call Detective Martinez from my burner phone. "Detective, this is Sophie Miller. I need to tell you something. My husband isn't dead. He faked his own kidnapping and I can prove it." Martinez is silent for a long moment. Then, "Mrs. Miller, where are you?" "That doesn't matter. What matters is that Ryan is alive and he's in the Bahamas spending my money. I have video evidence, bank records, everything you need to issue a warrant for his arrest." "Sophie, if this is true, you need to come in. You need to do this properly through legal channels." "I will, but not yet. First, I need him to understand what he did. I need him to feel what I felt." "Sophie, don't do anything stupid. Revenge isn't worth ruining your own life." "My life is already ruined, Detective. I'm just making sure his is too." I hang up. But I do send Martinez the evidence. The videos of Ryan, the bank statements, the photos of him with Bella, the recording of his phone call where he brags about the whole scheme, everything. Because here's my plan. I'm not just going to expose Ryan. I'm going to destroy him completely. His freedom, his money, his reputation, his relationship. Everything he stole from me, I'm taking back tenfold. And I'm going to do it in the most public, humiliating way possible. It's time for the finale. Psychological warfare is an art form, and I'm about to become a master. Ryan thinks he's being hunted by the police, or maybe by the kidnappers he supposedly hired and then shortchanged. He has no idea the person tormenting him is the woman he left for dead, the woman whose grief he manufactured, the woman he underestimated. I spend the next phase getting closer, becoming invisible in plain sight. I rent a villa at Paradise Cove, just 3 doors down from Ryan and Bella. It costs me $1,500 a night, money I can't really afford, but I take it from the remnants of the insurance payout. Consider it an investment in justice. When I check in, I wear the big hat and sunglasses. I tell the front desk my name is Sophie Carson and I'm here recovering from a difficult divorce. The staff is sympathetic, promises to give me privacy. They have no idea I'm stalking one of their other guests. From my villa, I can see theirs. I watch their patterns, their routines. Ryan wakes up around 10, always hungover. Bella sleeps until noon. They argue most mornings, usually about money. His frozen accounts have become a major source of tension. Bella keeps threatening to leave, to find someone who can actually afford the lifestyle he promised her. Good, let them tear each other apart. But I'm not satisfied with just watching anymore. It's time to make Ryan truly afraid. On night 5 of my villa stay, I wait until 3 a.m. The resort is dead quiet except for the sound of waves and distant music from the casino. I slip out of my villa wearing all black, dark leggings, a black long-sleeve shirt, running shoes. I've been practicing this route for days, 18 steps from my patio to theirs, Stay in the shadows cast by the palm trees. Move when the security guard does his rounds. I reach their patio. The sliding door is locked tonight, but the bathroom window is cracked open for ventilation. I can see into their bedroom. Ryan is sprawled across the bed, snoring. Bella is curled on her side, facing away from him. I take out the first item from my bag. A Polaroid photograph. It's a picture I took of Ryan sleeping, right now, through this window, 3 nights ago. On the white border of the photo, I've written in red marker, "I'm watching." I slip it under their door. Then I take out the second item, a small Bluetooth speaker, the kind that costs $20. I've already connected it to my phone. I place it carefully in the bushes right outside their bedroom window, hidden among the hibiscus flowers. I retreat to my villa and wait. At 7 a.m., I hear Bella scream. I step onto my patio, acting like a concerned neighbor. Other guests are emerging too, wondering what's happening. I see Ryan stumble out of Villa 4 in boxer shorts, wild-eyed, holding the Polaroid. A security guard rushes over. "Sir, what's wrong?" "Someone was in our room. Someone took a picture of me sleeping." "Sir, are you sure? Our security is very tight. Perhaps you had too much to drink last night and—" "I'm not drunk. Look at this." Ryan shoves the photo at him. The guard examines it, frowning. "This could have been taken from outside, through the window, but I assure you, we patrol constantly. No one could have—" "Well, someone did." Ryan is nearly hysterical now. Bella stands in the doorway, wrapped in a sheet, crying. The guard promises to review security footage and file a report. Ryan demands to speak to the manager. It's beautiful chaos, and I'm the conductor. I go back inside my villa and smile. That night, at exactly 3 a.m., I activate the Bluetooth speaker outside their window. The sound that plays is a recording I made, heavy breathing, footsteps on sand, then a whisper in a distorted voice, "Ryan, I know what you did, Ryan." I can hear Bella shriek from inside their villa. Lights turn on. Ryan runs outside and looking around frantically, but by the time he reaches the bushes, I've already turned off the speaker remotely. He finds nothing. I do this for 3 consecutive nights. Different recordings each time. You can't hide forever. They're coming for you. Did you really think you'd get away with it? Ryan stops sleeping. I watch him through my binoculars as he sits on their patio at night, staring into the darkness, jumping at every sound. Bella has moved to the couch. They're barely speaking. On the 4th night, I escalate further. I've been collecting items from the resort. A housekeeping cart left unattended, a master key card cloned from a drunk staff member who dropped it at the beach bar, resort uniforms drying on a laundry line. I'm not proud of these methods, but desperate times call for desperate measures. At 2 a.m., when I know they're both finally asleep from sheer exhaustion, I use the cloned key card to enter their villa. My heart is pounding so hard I can hear it in my ears. If they wake up, if I get caught, everything is ruined. But I move like a ghost. I go to their bathroom first. Ryan always showers in the morning. I unscrew the shower head and insert a small capsule filled with red dye, the kind used for gender reveal parties. When water hits it, it'll dissolve and turn the water blood red. Then I carefully screw the shower head back on. Next, I go to their closet. I find Ryan's favorite shirt, the expensive linen one he's been wearing constantly. I take a sewing kit and, on the inside of the collar where he won't see it immediately, I embroider in tiny red letters, "Sophie knows." Finally, I leave another Polaroid on his pillow, inches from his sleeping head. This one is a photo of our wedding day that I brought from home. But I've edited it digitally and printed it so that my face is scratched out, replaced with the words, "Till death do us part." I slip out of the villa as silently as I entered. The next morning, I'm having coffee on my patio when I hear Ryan scream from inside his bathroom. It's a scream of pure terror. Bella comes running, and then she's screaming too. Ryan bursts out onto his patio, dripping wet, covered in what looks like blood. "Call the police! Call someone!" This is insane. Resort security arrives within minutes. So does the manager. Ryan is raving about blood in the shower, mysterious photos, someone stalking him. Bella is backing him up, but she's also saying she wants to leave, that this place is cursed, that they should go back to Miami. The manager examines the shower. Sir, this appears to be just dye. Perhaps a prank from the housekeeping staff? We'll investigate immediately. A prank? Someone is threatening me. They broke into our room. There's no sign of forced entry, sir, and I've reviewed the security footage. No one has approached your villa. Then how do you explain the photos? The messages? The manager looks uncomfortable. Sir, I hate to ask this, but have you perhaps taken any substances? Sometimes guests experiment with recreational drugs and experience paranoia. I'm not on drugs. I'm being stalked. But I can see it in the manager's eyes, in the security guard's expressions. They think Ryan is losing his mind. They think he's paranoid, drunk, or crazy. Perfect. Over the next few days, I continue the campaign. I leave messages everywhere. I hack into the resort's TV system and interrupt their streaming with a text overlay. Missing, Ryan Miller. Last seen, March 15th. Reward for information. I make it flash on his screen for just 3 seconds, long enough for him to see, not long enough for Bella to confirm she saw it too. I pay a local kid $50 to approach Ryan at the beach bar and hand him an envelope, then run away. Inside the envelope is a copy of the bank statement showing his frozen accounts, with a note, "The police are coming." I call their villa from a burner phone at random hours, letting it ring twice before hanging up, just enough to wake them, to keep them on edge. Ryan becomes a shell of himself. He's lost weight. His tan is fading because he's afraid to leave the villa. He's drinking heavily, starting before noon. Bella has stopped wearing makeup. They argue constantly, and I can hear every word from my patio. "This was supposed to be paradise," Bella shouts one afternoon. "You said we'd live like royalty. Instead, I'm trapped in this villa with you and your paranoid delusions." I'm not delusional. Someone is doing this. Someone knows. Knows what, Ryan? What exactly are you so afraid of? Silence. He can't tell her the truth. If he admits he faked his own kidnapping and stole millions from his wife, Bella will realize she's an accessory to fraud. She'll leave him or, worse, turn him in for immunity. "Nothing," he finally says. "Just stress." "Well, your stress is ruining my vacation. I'm going to the spa. Try not to have a breakdown while I'm gone." While Bella is at the spa, I make my boldest move yet. I've been watching Ryan's laptop, the one he leaves on the patio table sometimes. I know his password because I watched him type it through binoculars. Bella 2025, not the sharpest tool in the shed, as he said. While Bella is gone and Ryan is passed out drunk on the couch, I slip into their villa one more time. I open his laptop and navigate to his email. I find what I'm looking for, correspondence with someone named Marcus, who appears to have been Ryan's accomplice in the kidnapping scheme. The voice on the phone, who helped stage everything. The emails are damning. Ryan promising Marcus a 20% cut. Marcus complaining he only got $50,000, not the $400,000 he was owed. Ryan telling him to shut up and be grateful. That Marcus is lucky Ryan didn't just cut him out entirely. I forward all of these emails to myself. Then I send an email from Ryan's account to Marcus. Change of plans. Meet me at the Paradise Cove bar tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Bringing the rest of your money. Come alone. Marcus will show up expecting a payment. Ryan will have no idea why. It'll be chaos. But I'm not done. I open Ryan's photo library and find hundreds of pictures of him and Bella living it up in the Bahamas. Pool parties, expensive dinners, jet skiing, champagne toasts. Every photo is evidence of how he spent my stolen money. I create a new Instagram account called Justice for Sophie and upload every single photo with captions explaining the truth. This man faked his kidnapping. He made his wife sell her childhood home to pay a ransom. Then he disappeared with $2 million and left her drowning in debt. While she was mourning, he was here. Justice? Fraud modder caught. I tag Paradise Cove. I tag the Bahamas Tourism Board. I tag every news outlet I can think of. Then I buy promoted posts to boost the account. Within 6 hours, the account has 10,000 followers. Within 12 hours, a local news station in Miami picks up the story. Within 18 hours, it's trending on Twitter. Ryan's fake death and luxury vacation are now public knowledge. I watch from my patio as Ryan frantically scrolls through his phone, seeing his face plastered everywhere online. Bella is crying, screaming that she had no idea, that she thought he was a poker player. She's packing her bags. You lied to me. You said you won this money. You're a criminal. Bella, baby, please, don't baby me. I'm not going to prison for you. We're done. She storms out of the villa with her suitcases, heading to the lobby to check out. Ryan is alone now, exposed, terrified, exactly where I want him, but I'm still not finished. Because the best part, the grand finale, is yet to come. Tomorrow night, Ryan is going to discover that his biggest mistake wasn't stealing from me. It wasn't faking his death. It wasn't even coming to this resort. His biggest mistake was thinking I wouldn't find him, and now that I have, I'm going to make sure he never forgets the name Sophie Miller. The resort bar is packed tonight. It's Saturday, which means live music and half-price cocktails. Tourists are everywhere, laughing and dancing, taking photos for Instagram, living their best vacation lives. They have no idea they're about to witness something that will be talked about for years. I've been planning this moment for days. Every detail, every word, every possible outcome. I'm wearing a red dress, not the tourist camouflage I've been hiding in, not the dark colors I've used for my nighttime operations. Red, bold, unmissable. I want everyone to see me. I want Ryan to see me and know, in that instant, that his world is about to end. My hair is still dark, but I've styled it. Makeup is perfect. I look like someone who has their life together, not the broken woman he left behind, because that woman is gone. She died the moment I saw him on that television screen. What's left is something harder, sharper, more dangerous. I arrive at the bar at 8:30. Marcus, Ryan's accomplice, is already here. I recognize him from the photos in Ryan's email. Mid-40s, balding, nervous energy. He's sitting at the bar nursing a beer, checking his watch every 2 minutes. He's expecting Ryan to show up with money. He's going to be disappointed. Ryan arrives at 8:50. He looks terrible. Unshaven, dark circles under his eyes, wearing a wrinkled shirt. The past 2 weeks of psychological torture have broken him down. He's paranoid, jumpy, defeated. He scans the bar like a hunted animal, sits at a corner table with his back to the wall where he can see all the exits. He orders a double whiskey, then another. Marcus hasn't noticed Ryan yet, and Ryan hasn't seen Marcus. They're both waiting for different versions of tonight. I sit at the bar, 3 seats away from Marcus. I order a glass of wine I don't plan to drink. The bartender is friendly, asks where I'm from. I smile and tell him Chicago. He says I have the look of someone celebrating something. You could say that, I tell him. Tonight is very special. At 9:15, I make my move. I stand up, smooth my dress, and walk directly to Ryan's table. My heart is racing, but my hands are steady. I've rehearsed this moment 1,000 times in my head. He doesn't see me coming. He's staring at his phone, probably reading the latest comments on the viral posts about him. His face is pale, drawn. Good. I pull out the chair across from him and sit down. Hello, Ryan. His head snaps up. For a moment, he just stares at me, his brain refusing to process what his eyes are seeing. His mouth opens, but no sound comes out. The glass in his hand starts to shake. Sophie? His voice is barely a whisper. What are you? Surprised to see me. I thought you'd be happy. After all, you went to so much trouble to fake your death. The least I could do was come say goodbye properly. The color drains completely from his face. He looks like he might vomit. Can't what? Can't explain. Can't believe I found you. Can't figure out how your dead wife is sitting across from you in a bar in the Bahamas. I lean forward, my voice sweet as poison. Let me help you out. I saw you on television, in the background of a news report, and then I flew here, and then I watched you. For 2 weeks, Ryan, I've been watching you. His eyes widen with true terror. You, the posters, the messages, the shower, that was you. All me. Did you enjoy it? The paranoia, the fear, the feeling that someone was coming for you but you didn't know when or how. I smile. I certainly did, though I have to admit, It wasn't quite as satisfying as the 3 months of hell you put me through. The months where I thought you were being tortured. Where I sold my parents' house to save your life. Where I mourned you. Sophie, I can explain. Explain? My voice rises slightly. Not enough to cause a scene yet, but sharp enough to cut. Explain how you faked your own kidnapping. How you made me listen to you scream and beg for your life. How you took $2 million from me and let me believe you were dead while you were here drinking cocktails with your Instagram model girlfriend. People at nearby tables are starting to notice us. Good. Let them listen. Ryan glances around nervously. Please, keep your voice down. We can talk about this privately. Privately? You want privacy? You destroyed my life, Ryan. You took everything from me, my money, my home, my trust, 3 months of my sanity. And you think you deserve privacy. I'm sorry, he whispers, and for the first time I see tears in his eyes. I'm so sorry, Sophie. I never meant for it to go this far. I was drowning in debt. I had gambling problems you didn't know about. I owed dangerous people. I was desperate. So you decided to destroy me instead, make me your victim. I thought you'd rebuild. You're smart, you're capable. I thought you'd be okay. I laugh, but there's no humor in it. You thought I'd be okay? Ryan, I spent 3 months wishing I was dead. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I had panic attacks every time the phone rang. I lost friends because I couldn't pay them back the money they lent me to save your worthless life. I lost my parents and house. The house where I grew up. The last piece of them I had left. I'm sorry, he says again, uselessly. No, you're not. You're sorry you got caught? There's a difference. That's when Marcus approaches the table. He's been watching us from the bar, confused about why Ryan is sitting with a woman instead of meeting him. Ryan? What's going on? You said 9 o'clock. Ryan looks at Marcus in confusion. What are you talking about? I didn't... Then understanding dawns. He looks at me. You sent that email. I did. Marcus, right? The voice on the phone during the kidnapping. I turned to face the accomplice. How much did Ryan promise you? How much did he actually pay? Marcus looks between us, nervous. I don't know what you're talking about. Ryan, who is this? This, I say, standing up so the whole bar can hear me clearly, is Sophie Miller, Ryan's supposedly dead wife, the woman you helped him extort $2 million from. The woman whose life you helped destroy. The bar is quiet now. Everyone is watching. The band has stopped playing. Ryan stands up, panicked. Sophie, please, no. No more, please. No more lies. Everyone here needs to know what kind of man you are. I turn to address the crowd. This man, Ryan Miller, faked his own kidnapping 3 months ago. He made me believe he was being tortured. He made me sell everything I owned to pay a ransom. And then he came here to live in luxury while I mourned him. Phones are coming out. People are recording. This is what I wanted. Public. Undeniable. Permanent. She's lying, Ryan shouts. She's my crazy ex-girlfriend. She's been stalking me. Am I? I pull out my phone and project it onto the bar's TV screen. The bartender had helped me set up the connection earlier, thinking I was just going to share vacation photos. Instead, I play the video. The one I recorded of Ryan on the phone, bragging about the scam. His voice fills the bar. She thinks I'm dead, man. She had a whole funeral for me. The best part, Sophie actually got the life insurance payout. $500,000. I almost feel bad. Almost. Ryan's face on the screen, laughing. Ryan's voice, mocking me. The bar erupts in gasps and angry murmurs. Someone shouts, "That's disgusting." Another person yells, "Call the cops." Ryan tries to run. He pushes past tables, heading for the exit. But I'm ready for this too. Standing at the entrance to the bar, blocking his way, is Detective Martinez. He flew in this morning at my request, warrant in hand. Behind him are 2 Bahamian police officers. Ryan Miller, Martinez says calmly, "You're under arrest for fraud, extortion, and conspiracy to commit wire fraud." Ryan freezes. He looks back at me. And in his eyes, I see the moment he realizes he's lost. Completely, utterly lost. When did you? The moment I found you, I say. I've been working with Detective Martinez for 2 weeks, building the case, gathering evidence, freezing your accounts, tracking your accomplice. Every move you made, I was 3 steps ahead. The police move in. They handcuff Ryan as the entire bar watches and films. Marcus tries to slip away, but another officer grabs him. Both men are read their rights. Bella appears from somewhere in the crowd, crying, shouting that she didn't know, that she was a victim too. An officer tells her she'll need to come in for questioning. Ryan looks at me one last time as they lead him away. I really did love you, at the beginning. That's the saddest part, I tell him. I actually believe you. But love isn't enough when you're fundamentally selfish. When you care more about money than about the person you promised to cherish. You didn't love me enough to be honest. You didn't love me enough to ask for help. You loved yourself more, and now you're going to pay for that. They take him away. The crowd in the bar erupts in applause. People approach me, asking if I'm okay, telling me how brave I am. Someone buys me a drink. Someone else asks for a selfie with the woman who caught her fake dead husband. I'm polite to everyone, but inside I feel hollow. This isn't a victory that feels good. It's just the end of something terrible, the closing of a wound that's going to leave a scar no matter what. Detective Martinez approaches me once the crowd thins. You did good, Sophie. Really good. The evidence you gathered is airtight. He's going away for a long time. What about my money? We've already started the asset recovery process. The frozen accounts, the money we can trace, it'll be returned to you. It won't be everything, but it'll be substantial. I nod. And Marcus? He's singing like a canary, gave us everything. The fake blood, the voice distortion device, the whole scheme. He was promised $400,000 and only got $50,000. He's more than happy to testify against Ryan for a reduced sentence. Good. Martinez hesitates. There's one thing I have to ask. The psychological torture you put him through these past 2 weeks, the breaking and entering, the harassment, Ryan's lawyer could potentially use that as what? Evidence that I fought back? That I made him feel a fraction of what he made me feel? Let them try. I look Martinez in the eye. I didn't break any laws that matter. I didn't steal. I didn't physically harm anyone. I just made a criminal afraid. And if that's wrong, then I don't want to be right. Martinez actually smiles. Between you and me, good for you. Just maybe don't do it again. Don't worry, detective. I plan to live a very quiet, very legal life from now on. Right after I finish one last thing. What's that? I walk to the center of the bar, where everyone can still see me, where phones are still recording. I raise my glass. To everyone watching this, whether you're here tonight or seeing it online later, my name is Sophie Miller. 3 months ago, my husband faked his kidnapping and stole my life savings. Tonight, justice was served. But more than that, I want you to remember something. When someone tries to destroy you, when they think you're too weak or too broken to fight back, prove them wrong. Be smarter, be stronger, be relentless. Don't let them win. The bar erupts in cheers. Glasses clink, the band starts playing again, something upbeat and triumphant. I finish my wine, thank the bartender, and walk out into the tropical night. The air is warm, the stars are bright. Somewhere behind me, Ryan is sitting in a police car. His paradise turned into a prison cell, and I'm free. Finally, completely free. But as I walk back to my villa, I realize something. Revenge didn't fix me. It didn't erase the betrayal or heal the wounds. It just gave me closure. The real work, the rebuilding of my life, starts now. And unlike Ryan, I'm going to do it the right way, with dignity, with honesty, with strength. He took 3 months of my life, but he doesn't get to take the rest of it. I'm Sophie Miller, and I survived, 6 months later, and my life looks nothing like it did before. But it also looks nothing like it did during those dark 3 months when I thought Ryan was dead. It looks better, different, mine. The legal process moved faster than anyone expected. Ryan's confession, caught on video at the bar that night, made the prosecution's job easy. Marcus testified against him in exchange for a reduced sentence of 3 years. Bella was questioned, but ultimately not charged, as investigators determined she genuinely believed Ryan's story about poker winnings. She returned to Miami, deleted her Instagram, and apparently got a job at a dental office. I heard she's engaged now to an accountant. Good for her, I suppose. Ryan wasn't as lucky. He was extradited back to the United States to face federal charges: wire fraud, extortion, conspiracy, insurance fraud. The judge wasn't sympathetic. Ryan's lawyer tried to paint him as desperate, drowning in gambling debt, making terrible choices under pressure. But the prosecution played the video of him laughing about my suffering, played the recorded phone call where he mocked me, showed the photos of him living in luxury while I mourned. The jury deliberated for less than 4 hours. Ryan Miller was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison, no parole eligibility for at least 10 years. The judge called his actions a profound betrayal of the highest order and psychological torture inflicted on an innocent victim for pure greed. I was there for the sentencing. I wanted Ryan to see my face one last time, wanted him to know that I'd won, that his attempt to destroy me had failed. He looked at me from the defendant's table, thinner than I remembered, wearing an orange jumpsuit that swallowed his frame. For a moment, our eyes met. I don't know what he saw in mine. Triumph, maybe, or just exhaustion. But I know what I saw in his. Regret. Real, devastating regret. Not for what he'd done, necessarily, but for getting caught. For losing. As they led him away in chains, he turned back one more time. "I'm sorry, Sophie," he called out. "I really am sorry." I didn't respond. There was nothing left to say. Sorry doesn't rebuild a house. Sorry doesn't erase trauma. Sorry doesn't give me back those 3 months of hell. Sorry is just a word. The financial recovery took longer. Ryan had spent about $300,000 of the $2 million by the time I found him. The remaining $1.7 million was frozen in various accounts under fake names. The forensic accountants traced every dollar. It took 4 months, but eventually I got back $1.6 million. The rest was lost to legal fees and money that had been converted to untraceable cash. I also received restitution from Marcus's seized assets, another $60,000. And then there was the life insurance payout I'd already received, $500,000. In total, I recovered over $2 million. More than I'd lost, actually, when you included the insurance money. Blood money, all of it. But money nonetheless. The first thing I did was pay everyone back. Jessica got her $100,000 returned with an extra $20,000 as interest and an apology. Ryan's brother got his $300,000 plus $50,000 for his trouble. Every friend, every person who'd helped me in those desperate days, got their money back with interest. The second thing I did was buy back my parents' house. The developer who'd purchased it had started demolition but hadn't finished. The structure was damaged but salvageable. I paid him $400,000, twice what he'd paid me, and he was happy to be rid of the project. I spent the next 3 months rebuilding it. Not just repairing the damage, but making it mine again. New kitchen, new floors, fresh paint in colors my parents never would have chosen, but that made me happy. I kept their bedroom exactly as it had been, though some things are sacred. I moved back in 2 weeks ago. It feels like coming home and starting over at the same time. The third thing I did was quit my job. Graphic design had stopped bringing me joy years ago. I'd only stayed because it was stable, safe, predictable. But I'd learned something important over the past year. Safety is an illusion. Predictability is a lie. Life can explode at any moment. And when it does, you better make sure you're doing something that matters. So I started a nonprofit. It's called Second Chances, and it helps fraud victims navigate the legal system, recover assets, and rebuild their lives. I use my own story to fundraise. The viral video from that night at the Paradise Cove bar has been viewed over 20 million times. Major news outlets interviewed me. A streaming service even optioned my story for a limited series. I took the money from that deal, $250,000, and put it all into Second Chances. We've already helped 12 families recover stolen money and bring criminals to justice. It's not enough. It'll never be enough. But it's something. Detective Martinez became a friend. He calls me every few months to check in, see how I'm doing, tell me about cases where my organization made a difference. Last month, he told me about a woman whose business partner had embezzled $300,000 and disappeared to Mexico. Second Chances helped her hire investigators, gather evidence, and work with international authorities. They caught him. She got her money back. "Well, you're doing good work, Sophie," Martinez told me. "Real good. Your parents would be proud." I cried when he said that. Good tears, for once. But it hasn't all been triumph and healing. Some nights, I still wake up at 2:47 a.m., the exact time that first call came. Some days, I see a man with Ryan's build walking down the street and my heart rate spikes. Some moments, I remember what it felt like to believe I was loved, completely and truly, and I feel the loss all over again. Trust is hard now. I went on a date last month, the first since Ryan, a nice man, a teacher, kind eyes. He complimented my dress and asked about my work. Halfway through dinner, I had a panic attack in the restaurant bathroom. What if he's lying too? What if everyone lies? What if I never know who to trust again? I canceled the second date. He was understanding, said to call if I changed my mind. I haven't called. Maybe someday I will. Maybe someday I'll be ready to risk my heart again. But not today. Today, I'm still healing. Still learning how to be Sophie again, instead of Sophie the victim or Sophie the avenger. Just Sophie. I've been seeing a therapist twice a week. Dr. Chen is patient, insightful, never makes me feel weak for struggling. She says trauma changes your brain chemistry, that what I experienced was profound betrayal trauma. She says it's normal to have trust issues, hypervigilance, difficulty with emotional intimacy. She says healing isn't linear. Some days you're better, some days you backslide. The important thing is to keep moving forward. So that's what I do. I move forward. I wake up every morning in my parents' house. I make coffee in the kitchen where my mother taught me to bake. I sit on the porch my father built and watch the sunrise. I go to my office and help people who've been betrayed like I was. I come home and cook dinner and read books and exist. It's a quiet life, a small life, maybe. But it's mine. Honestly mine. No lies, no deception, no one trying to take it from me. Last week, I received a letter, prison mail, from Ryan. I stared at the envelope for 20 minutes before opening it. My hands shook as I unfolded the pages. The letter was long, rambling, filled with apologies and explanations. He talked about his gambling addiction, how it started small and spiraled, how he'd gotten in debt to dangerous people who threatened his life, how he'd felt trapped, desperate, out of options, how the kidnapping plan seemed like the only way out. He wrote about the guilt that eats at him every day, how he can't sleep because he sees my face, hears my voice crying on the phone, how he knows he's a monster but wants me to understand he didn't start out that way, how somewhere along the way he made terrible choices and lost himself. He wrote that he thinks about me constantly, wonders how I'm doing, hopes I've found happiness, says he prays for me, even though he knows he doesn't deserve to. The letter ended with, "I know I can't undo what I did. I know sorry means nothing to you. But for what it's worth, I want you to know that you were the best thing that ever happened to me, and destroying you was the worst thing I ever did. If I could go back and choose differently, I'd choose you. I'd choose us. I'd choose honesty. But I can't go back. All I can do is sit in this cell and wish things were different. I hope someday you can forgive me. But more than that, I hope you're happy. You deserve happiness and Sophie. You always did. Love, Ryan." I read the letter 3 times, then I took it outside, placed it in my fire pit, and burned it. Not because I'm still angry, not because I haven't forgiven him, but because his words don't matter anymore. His regret doesn't change anything. His love, if it ever existed, wasn't real love. Real love doesn't betray. Real love doesn't destroy. I forgive Ryan, not for him, but for me. Because carrying hatred is exhausting, and I'm tired of giving him space in my heart. He took enough from me already. He doesn't get my forgiveness or my continued anger. He doesn't get anything. He's just a man in a prison cell, serving time for his crimes. And I'm a woman rebuilding her life, helping others rebuild theirs. We're both exactly where we belong. This morning, I drove to my parents' graves. I hadn't been since before Ryan disappeared. Couldn't face them. Couldn't face what I'd done to their house to save him. But today felt right. I brought flowers, daisies, my mother's favorite. I sat on the grass between their headstones and told them everything. The kidnapping, the betrayal, the revenge, the recovery, all of it. "I sold your house, Mom," I whispered. "I'm so sorry, but I bought it back. I fixed it. It's beautiful again. You'd love what I did with the kitchen." The wind picked up, rustling through the trees. I like to think it was her, telling me she understood, that she was proud. "I'm okay, Dad," I said. "I'm not the same as I was. But maybe that's good. Maybe I needed to break before I could become who I was always meant to be." I sat there for an hour, just talking to them, feeling their presence. When I left, I felt lighter. Like I'd finally let go of the guilt, the shame, the feeling that I'd failed them. Tonight, I'm sitting on my porch with a glass of wine, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and pink. My laptop is open, and I'm writing this all down. My story. Not for therapy, though Dr. Chen says it's healthy. Not for the streaming series, though the writers keep asking for details. I'm writing it for me. To remember where I've been, to see how far I've come. To remind myself that I survived the worst betrayal imaginable and came out stronger. Ryan wanted to steal my life. Instead, he gave me a new one. Not the one I planned, not the one I wanted, but a life with purpose, with meaning, with clarity about what matters and what doesn't. He's in a cell. I'm free. He lost everything. I gained myself. The irony isn't lost on me. In trying to destroy me, he created someone he could never touch. Someone who knows her own strength. Someone who will never again confuse love with possession or trust with naivety. My phone buzzes. It's Jessica, asking if I want to get coffee tomorrow. I text back yes. She's been patient with me, giving me space to heal but never abandoning me. Real friendship, it turns out, survives storms. Another text comes in, this one from Detective Martinez. "Just got word. Ryan's appeal was denied. Sentence stands. Thought you'd want to know." I stare at the message for a moment, waiting to feel something. Triumph, maybe, or satisfaction. But all I feel is nothing. No joy in his continued punishment. No pain at the reminder of what he did. Just acceptance that justice was served and life goes on. I text back, "Thank you for letting me know." Then I close my phone and look out at my neighborhood. Kids playing in a yard across the street. An elderly couple walking their dog. A mail carrier making deliveries. Normal people living normal lives, unaware of the drama that unfolded in this house, in my life. I want that. Normalcy. Not the old normal, where I was naive and trusting and blind to red flags. But a new normal, where I'm wise and cautious, but still open to joy. Where I've learned from the past, but don't live in it. I take a sip of wine and smile. Not because everything is perfect. It's not. I still have moments of sadness, flashbacks of fear, nights where loneliness feels overwhelming. But I also have moments like this. Peaceful evenings on my porch. Work that matters. Friends who care. A future that's mine to shape. Ryan Miller tried to bury me. He didn't know I was a seed. And now, 6 months later, I'm blooming. My name is Sophie Miller. I was betrayed by the person I loved most. I was broken, destroyed, left for dead in every way that matters except the literal one. But I survived. I fought back. I won. And now I'm living. Really living. Not just existing in someone else's shadow or plan, but creating my own path, my own purpose, my own happiness. The sun sets completely, leaving behind a sky full of stars. I finish my wine and head inside. Tomorrow, I have 3 client meetings for second chances. Next week, I'm speaking at a conference about fraud recovery. Next month, I'm taking a vacation to Iceland, Somewhere I've always wanted to go but never did because Ryan thought it was too cold. I'm done making choices based on what other people want. I'm done being small to make someone else comfortable. I'm done apologizing for taking up space in the world. Ryan is in prison. Marcus is in prison. Bella is rebuilding her life. Detective Martinez is solving other cases. Jessica is getting married next spring and asked me to be her maid of honor. And me, I'm standing in my parents' outhouse in the home I refuse to let stay destroyed. And I'm whole again. Different than before, yes. Scarred, absolutely. But whole. This is my ascension. Not revenge, though that was satisfying. Not justice, though that was necessary. My ascension is this: choosing happiness after devastation. Choosing trust after betrayal. Choosing to build rather than destroy. Ryan wanted a luxury vacation funded by my destruction. What he got was 15 years in prison and the knowledge that he failed to break me. I wanted my life back. What I got was something better. A life I built myself, on my own terms, with my own strength. In the end, we both got exactly what we deserved. I turn off the lights, lock the doors, and head upstairs to bed. Tomorrow is a new day, another chance to help someone, another opportunity to heal, another moment to prove that surviving isn't enough. You have to thrive, and I am thriving. Ryan tried to make me the victim of his story. Instead, I became the hero of mine. Good night, Ryan. I hope your cell is cold tonight. I hope you're uncomfortable. I hope you remember my face at that bar, the moment you realized you'd lost. But more than that, I hope you eventually find peace. Not freedom, you don't deserve that, but peace. Because holding on to hatred for you is like drinking poison and expecting you to die. I choose to let it go. I choose to move forward. I choose me. And that, ultimately, is how I win. Not by destroying you, but by refusing to let you destroy me. My name is Sophie Miller. This is my story. And it's just beginning.